Everybody. I don't know. This is just my first live. I'm in Spain, so hence my super casual attire. So I'm in northern Spain, in Galicia, and it's very beautiful. I should really show you how pretty it is behind me. Okay, let me show you. Let me show you how pretty it is. Let me see. Isn't that pretty? Little casa in the beautiful hills. This is up in northern Spain in Ismea. And there's a rare, quiet moment. So I was just going to wax psychic on you guys because I just committed in the last few days to fully stepping into my personal genius. So I have been a life coach and a psychic life coach for over 20 years and a personal stylist. And I gotta tell you, it's time for me to just step into easier ways of reaching people and helping people because that's my genius. So I do dream interpretation. Without trying, I ended up being able to connect with people that had passed on. And I do tarot, I do Lenormand, but mainly I'm just a psychic healer. I can just tell what's wrong with people in just a few minutes. And my I usually do between a 20 and 30-minute reading, and I am offering a special right now. So if you want to message me, it's $44 for 20 minutes. It's normally 30 minutes for $75. So if that's something that interests you, I would love to speak with you. So I'm going to hope and pray. We're just going to go that and I'm a deeply spiritual person, more connected to the Holy Spirit, so I don't channel anything that isn't of the light, just so you know. Not that it matters to a lot of people, but, you know, that's just what makes me different. I've been a Christian minister for 40 years. So, for real, 40 years. So I'm just very gifted in the prophetic and uplifting people and encouraging people. So I never channel anything like a spirit of fear that most Christians operate in with the spirit of fear, and they don't even know it. And they're totally operating what somebody else would call witchcraft. A lot of Christians are operating in that because they just don't have any discernment. They don't understand spiritual things. They think that tarot deck is evil, but they don't realize that if they're judging me for doing tarot, they're actually in a spirit of evil that Jesus said, judge not lest you be judged. So I'm out here doing the true Christian shit, which is healing and loving people. And so you could call me a Christian mystic. I don't really love the word witch because it has had kind of a negative connotation. I don't love that word, but I like to say that I'm divinely connected to God and the angelic realms, and it's just been a natural part of my life for many, many years. So I've been doing this forever. This is just, I tell you why I love cards so much, because they are pictures. So it's an easy way for people to connect visually. And I'm a visual person. I'm an artist. So I can see, things make sense when they come in pictures. So I'm just going to pull a couple cards for whoever sees this. Just knowing and trusting that it's going to mean something to that person because everything God does is good. All right. So first card. Oh, I got this one today for my personal self. So this is the Six of Cups, which is all about childhood connection with childhood friends. It's these sweet little kids out in the country, and there's like a grandma or grandpa in the background, and it's really like where I am right here, the farmland. Just so it's that gift of connecting with friends and friendships. And it's funny because my best friend just contacted me today and said, oh yeah, there's the reunion going on this weekend from all of the kids that were in my class. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. So this is just really about taking time for your friendships and mainly your old nostalgic childhood relationships. So this is about nostalgia. So some of you might be going home, for reunions like my classmates in State Center, Iowa this weekend. And I am in northern Spain with my new husband, who they know him here as the Michael Jordan of Spain. So he was here like 30 years ago and broke a lot of records and was amazing. So we're up here trying to get a coaching job in Spain so we can live in Europe. We love Spain. So that's why we're here. So hopefully that means something to you. So I'm going to do 2 more cards. Ooh, I love this card, the 8 of Wands. So it's moving fast. This is about getting messages quickly, about things moving really fast, fiery energy, a lot of communication going back and forth. So for somebody, you need a quick resolution to a problem, a quick message coming from someone to you, or there's just a lot going on in your life right now, a lot of back and forth, back and forth. So my advice would be to rest and maybe take time to double check those messages and make sure that you're responding, like really following the details, that you don't miss a text, or you're like going so fast you don't pay attention. You might miss some really important information. Okay, do one more, and I'm just going to tune in psychically and see if, so I'm hearing that somebody broke their leg. So I'm just going to send you some healing vibes right now, and you might need to slow down. Your back hurts too. So I wish you healing for that. And in case you wonder, why would I get that information? Because God knows everything, and there might be somebody tuning into this broadcast who just really needs to hear, like, oh my God, like Spirit knows about me, like I'm important, I'm loved. That's the one main thing as a life coach for the last 20 years and as a stylist, is people don't realize how much they're loved by the universe, because we've been so criticized by religion and by our parents and by the culture. We don't really realize how much that we are loved by the divine, by God, whatever word you want to use. And it's nice to know sometimes in life we can feel really alone, but I have felt alone before when I was dating, and I didn't have a partner, and I hate that, man. Personally, I'm just somebody who, I love to be in a good solid relationship, but I do know that God is always with me, and that I do have help, and I am loved, and I'm led. And one thing that one of the affirmations that I brought into when I met Nate was, every day we say, we are divinely aligned and we are on our perfect path. So if you're really wondering, you can just start affirming, I am on my perfect path. I am on my perfect path. I am on my perfect path. And you will start to see the breadcrumbs. You'll start to see how that's true. I think we live under such a great illusion of control. I watched this TED Talks this one time. This kind of Indian guy, older Indian guy, was speaking, East Indian, and he was talking about what an illusion control is. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it really knocked my socks off, because I was like, as a kind of more of a type A person, I have lived under that illusion that I'm able to control my life, or making good decisions, trying to do that. And I just royally went through this period of my life where I just seemed like I was making a ton of wrong decisions and character flaws. And I just could not believe how different my life was, and how miserable I was during that period of my life, and how lonely I was. And now I look back, and I needed that time. I needed that time to set myself free from the churchy girl that always followed the rules and always did everything perfectly, because there were some things I needed to experience as a person and as a woman that those experiences allowed me to have. Now, there was some super negative fallout from those things, and I, it's not like I would choose to do that again, but I can see where God allowed that to happen in my life. And I really think that my mentor, Dr. Gay Hendricks, I think he said it best, judgment serves us not at all. It gets in our way. So even, I was judging myself for a long time for, not having business success. After 2008, my business just dropped off and really struggled for quite a few years. And I moved a bunch of times. So it was just really hard to get off the ground. And I was living under this feeling that I was a failure. And then that time when I was really lonely in my life and made some very interesting dating decisions that you just look back and you cringe. Um, I'm so thankful now that I went through all of that because it gave me the freedom to just be a normal and imperfect person, not somebody who has to be perfect all the time. And I really understand now that love, when people are lonely or they need love, sometimes they make decisions that are not the best, as far as society is concerned, or church, or your family, or whatever. But I think we need to realize really how fragile we are as humans, and that we really need love and we need touch. And some people, if they're not getting sex, they can make really bad decisions. Um, the sex is not a great way to start relationships. um, and, you know, it's for so many people, they make that error out of just pure human need for touch and connection, and men and women. And I think that I really think dropping the judgment and if we could stop judging ourselves, it would be so helpful to us all to just realize how short life is, and we really just need to love ourselves. And even if we've done things that we're not proud of, or they weren't our best self, right? But we can come back from that and we can bounce back from that. And I know a ton of friends who are evolving, who are changing in their consciousness, and they're not who they used to be. And thank God we're all growing. So if I'm human, then that means I don't get to judge you for being human either. And I don't really have victim energy in my life where I'm saying, oh, that person hurt me, or that ex-husband hurt me, or whatever. And my husband has people that intentionally hurt him, like were just mean and evil and nasty, would do anything they could to destroy him for just doing nothing but being kind. And I'm thankful that all my exes were really good people, and they were great people, even if the relationship didn't work out. I'm still friends with them, and they're great people, and they're happy. I'm happy they're happy. We just had to go a different direction. So if there's any way you can get out of A, victim energy, or B, judging other people, I can't tell you how much I think that'll help you. It's a really big deal. So, like I said, I've been a life coach since 2004, using mainly the Hendricks Institute body mind coaching, which I've studied for over 15 years and been a part of their active classes and workshops for over 8 years. But I still use all their stuff. But then I'm also a very gifted minister, and I do intuitive work and healing work, and I help people get rid of demons, and I help people to hear from people that have moved beyond, and the so sad and funny thing is, like, the church has these boxes like, oh, you can only do these things if you're Christian, and oh, all these other things are the devil or whatever. And they really have no idea what they're talking about, because it's all based on superstition and old teachings that they're not accurate for today. So what I like to tell people is that tarot cards are just one other tool to hear from God. Okay. And I used to get a lot of messages from God through movies I would watch, or I'd see something and it would speak to me. So if you're a person who is actively seeking truth and seeking God, you're going to hear from truth and God wherever you go. And whatever tool you use, just like money or guns, it's all in whose hand it's in, the heart of the person. So a good cop with a gun can protect people, and a bad cop with a gun can kill people. And it's the same thing with any type of oracle tool. Is we can help people if we have goodness in our heart. And There are people who are scam artists and fraudulent, and they can hurt people, absolutely. So we just have to develop that discernment between good and evil in ourselves and be able to determine, Jesus had a really good thing. He said, you'll know a tree by its fruit. So if you're around ministers of the gospel who are bitchy and obese and poor and unhappy and judgmental and critical, they are not filled with God. They are not filled with love and light. And there's a lot of that's a scam. Okay? If you're tithing to churches, you're bound, you need a pastor, bullshit. You need a relationship with God, with your own version of whatever that is. Okay, I don't know. A lot of us are, like me, are recovering from religious trauma. So the word God might be triggering to you, or Jesus, or the Holy Spirit, or Christianity, or for me, the Bible. It's just like, ugh, it's just been used to hurt so many people because it's so misinterpreted. And so I really just want to say God might speak to you through tarot or the Bible equally. So your spirituality is your own damn business. It really is. And it took me over 50 years to get clear from all the religious damage I've had since my teenage years, being, told the sky's falling all the time, and you have to be afraid of this and afraid of that, even though God says, or Jesus said, don't have a spirit of fear. Oh, so if you're around a bunch of fearful Christians, that ain't from Jesus. That ain't from Jesus. So just want to let you know. So this is what I needed to say. So I'm going to do a lot more of this. But if you'd like a really down-to-earth coach, I don't care if you're purple. I don't care if you're an alphabet community. I don't care. As long as you're on team, I'm searching for truth, and I want to feel whole inside, and I'm looking for the light. That's the people I help. I help them find their businesses, find their personal expression, find their soul style, find your truth, get healing. I do a lot of emotional healing work. So I'm really good. I'm really good at it. But you have to be willing to face into your truth, because I do not mince words. I'm very loving and kind, but I'm one of those truth teller people. So I hope you have a good weekend. My name is Auretha, and I was named after Aretha Franklin. And owls are my thing. My grandmother loved owls, and I found this. Galicia is northern Spain, where I am right now, and I found this owl hat, and I was like, yes, because I needed a hat for the sun. So just if you want to figure out where your truth is, just go into your gut, and notice if you got any fear in there. You want to take 3 deep breaths or go for a walk and just move that energy of fear out, because this may be very triggering to some of you, of course, because I'm talking about Christianity and tarot, 2 hot topics, because I am a beautiful follower and lover of Jesus and the Holy Spirit and all the good stuff. And I am not afraid to use my intuition and embrace whatever tool I have, whether it's money or guns or tarot or whatever, because I have a good heart. And that is going to shape whatever tool I use and make it around the goodness of my heart. So I hope that blesses you today. And if you are surviving and thriving after religious abuse or trauma, feel free to give me a shout out. Okay. Love you. Bye, y'all.